Welcome to Tech Talk, y'all.
Hello, and welcome to Tech Talk, y'all, episode 366. I'm Sanjay Parekh.
And I'm Adam Walker, and we have a fun-filled episode for you this morning. We will talk at some point about the TikTok ban, but it's not our leading story because, I don't know, I just couldn't bring myself to make it first. So we'll get into that at some point. But first up instead, victory. Federal court finally rules backdoor searches of 702 data unconstitutional. Sanjay, how do you feel about this one?
This is obvious and a great thing. So basically the issue here was the federal government is hoovering in all this data into a database and international data, but sometimes half of the conversation is based in the US.
Yeah.
And so for that data, they should require a warrant to be able to inspect that. But they're like, well, it's already in the database.
Yeah.
So we can just accidentally search it.
Just mine it. It's cool. No big deal.
Oopsie.
Yeah.
And so the federal court has finally said, thank you, EFF, for pursuing this. No, that's not just because you got it accidentally as a side effect of this other thing doesn't make it now suddenly possible to search without a warrant. So good on you, federal courts.
That's it. Good. That's good. I like it.
Yeah. Moving on into other kind of, you know what? I know we're not a politics podcast. This is going to be a tough month, a tough year. And as consumers, you've got to really think about how you're going to manage things and security for yourself, because here we go. DHS guts cyber review board as Trump moves against quote unquote misuse of resources. So the Cyber Review Board is the group of people that are reviewing things like Salt Typhoon, which was the Chinese hack into all of our telecommunication systems, basically.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's a misuse of resources. That's a, hey, this something bad happened. We should figure out how to not let that happen again.
I mean, I will say this. I'm all for trying to figure out how to spend less money as the government. We for sure need, but this is probably not the place to cut. This just feels like, okay, let's not worry about hackers. It's going to be fine. Hackers are generally nice, so we're probably okay. So,
it's just because you guys painted them with a bad paintbrush in war games. You know, that whole movie just set it off for, no, that wasn't it.
Oh my gosh.
This is, so I think as consumers, you need to think about how are you going to continue to protect yourself? Like we just recently talked about that Biden administration thing that they pushed through, the little seal of approval for cybersecurity on products. I wonder what happens with that now.
Probably
does that go away?
Probably goes away.
So, as a consumer, you need to seek out resources and advice in terms of what products and things that you're doing. And using to make sure you protect yourself. And I'll tell you a funny story. This is a little side tangent thing. Just last night, I got an email from somebody that I know, and it was clearly that it was a phishing email. And I looked in the headers, and it was sent from their account. So their account was compromised. I reached out to them. Their email was shut off. So I reached out to them on their personal account, and I was like, hey, it looks like you've been hacked. Here's the things that you need to do. I told them what they needed to do. And they were like, we finally got in control of it. And I was like, you let me know if you needed advice on this kind of stuff. So that's what all of you as listeners need to do. You need to find somebody in your life that is kind of nerdy about security and technology, and that you can then go to and ask questions about this kind of stuff, because I think it's going to get worse.
Oh, for sure.
Over the next couple of years.
Undoubtedly. All right. So we're entering into a series of articles that are tangentially related to the TikTok ban and shutdown. And so before we get into them, I do feel like I need to make at least one or two quick remarks on the TikTok ban and shutdown. So for those of you that are not TikTok users, Sanjay, I know you are not. A couple of things happened that I thought were relatively interesting and worth noting related to the TikTok ban. So the TikTok ban was supposed to go into effect on Sunday, the 19th. Of course, Trump was sworn in on Monday, the 20th. So leading up to the TikTok ban, the Biden administration basically came out and said, like, well, first of all, Trump had already said, hey, we're probably going to reinstate TikTok or whatever. Like that's fine.
Or
he was going to give an extension. Yeah, extension.
Yeah.
Whatever. So that's fine. So it was good. I thought it was good that he did that. Right before the ban was going to go into effect, the Biden administration came out and said, hey, we're not going to enforce this ban. There are no repercussions here.
And literally, it's for one day.
For one day.
Like,
they're
not, like, you can't even get something filed. And it was on a Sunday on top of that. You're not filing anything at the courts on a Sunday. They're not open.
Right. That's right. You're not, we're not, So Biden basically gave them a free pass. TikTok went ahead and shut down on Saturday night anyway, before midnight.
Right.
Anyway, put up a notice saying that they'd been shut down. Then 12 hours later, they came back online with a notice that thanked President Trump for his efforts to get TikTok back online, even though he wasn't acting president at that time, because this was still on the 19th. And of course, now everything sort of came back online. So personally, my take on this is that was totally a stunt. Like the whole shutdown, the whole thing was a stunt.
I'll go even further. I think it was a stunt to get their CEO a ticket to the inauguration, because he was there at the inauguration.
Yeah, I mean, for whatever reason. I will say this again. Like I'm never going to be a Trump fan. I think it is good that Trump is giving ByteDance more time to figure this out. I do think banning TikTok is ridiculous. But the way it all went down, it seemed very much like, I don't know, like what's the word? Placating, or like, I don't know, just trying to win favor with the new administration. And that just bugged me. So with that in mind, let's move into the articles that are tangentially related to that. So first off, Instagram announces a blatant CapCut clone. So CapCut is another app that's used for video editing that is also owned by ByteDance, I think, or might be directly owned by TikTok. And so when TikTok went down, CapCut also went down. And right around that same time, Instagram announced that they're going to make basically an exact replica of CapCut, but it wasn't going to be ready for 3 months. And I'm like, what the heck? Seriously?
This thing I don't understand, right? Like, we've known about this TikTok ban for how long at this point? Like a year?
Like, what are y'all doing? Yes. Like this was your time. Like, this was your moment right here. And Meta does it. Like, Meta copies everything. Like there's nothing original they've done in the last 5 years, which is like, other than the Ray-Ban glasses. They've done the Ray-Ban glasses and those are cool. That's the only original thing they did. Fine.
What was your copy paste development team doing this whole time? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
What were they working on?
Well, and they claim they've been working on this for at least 3 months. And I'm like, if you've been working on it, come on. Like, really? Like, this was your moment right here.
Let me spin up a no-code developer and get this done for you in like the next 15 minutes. Like, I mean, come on.
It's killing me, man.
Like, I really don't understand, because it's not like it's a secret what apps they own or anything. So
they knew this was coming.
If you know that this is coming, there's a good chance, and you want to have like a competitive weapon, like, go ahead and build all the things.
Yeah, be ready.
And they should have, like, 2 minutes after the shutdown on Saturday night, they should have been like, oh, by the way, here's all of our stuff.
Here's it is. Go. Yeah,
ready to go.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
it was kind of a weird thing. And,
well, speaking of weird things, this next one's
this is really weird. And I was like, what is even this? I don't even know. I've never.
Oh, I don't even remember. I got stuff to say on this. Go ahead and read it.
So here we go. Yeah. Nearly 10 years later, Tumblr TV launches it to all as a TikTok alternative. How long has it been since you visited a Tumblr site, Adam?
Oh, years and years.
It's been a long time for me too.
Tumblr was really, really, really cool. Here's the thing. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, Tumblr's owned by Automatic. That's run by Matt Mullenweg.
Oh, yeah.
That runs WordPress and all that garbage.
Oh, yeah. I think you're right about that. Yeah.
So Tumblr's out for me regardless anyway. Again, but then on top of that, again, there was an opportunity here. And they released a product in the right timeline and it still sucked. And no one's going to go to. And now they saw bumps in traffic and that's all fine and dandy. But it's never like you can't grow something that way. You can't be like, oh man, let's capitalize on this moment in the collective cultural time and then produce something that sucks. Like that doesn't work. So anyway.
Yeah, it's I really do even wonder. I didn't look up, but how much traffic Tumblr actually even gets. I mean, it used to be the thing. It was in the 90s.
It was. I don't know that it was ever 2000s. The biggest, but it was cool and it was really well done. Yeah. For sure.
I mean, you would, back in those days, now this is like old.
I think this was more early 2000s. I don't think it was 90s.
Maybe,
I think it was early 2000s.
Is it early 2000s?
Yeah, I think it was like 2005.
It was like, okay, are you going to set up your site on GeoCities? Are you going to do it on Tumblr?
No, I think Tumblr was older than that. I think you're remembering
Tumblr and GeoCities was roughly the same time, wasn't it?
No. GeoCities was early 90s. It was like early HTML, spinning mailboxes, GIFs, whatever.
Tumblr was after that?
Yeah, Tumblr was like, Tumblr was after blogging had taken off.
Oh, that's
and it was
true.
like it was almost like a micro blogging site. I think it was like 2005, 2007, somewhere in there. That it was kind of a big deal. So, all right, next up, my turn. Yeah, next up, Marvel Snap is banned, just like TikTok, because it's apparently owned by a subsidiary, or its publisher is a subsidiary of ByteDance. So Marvel Snap is a game that I used to play a ton. Our friend Jeff still plays it a ton, and it also got. But here's the thing, right? Like, they're banning all of these various apps, and they say they're banning them for various reasons. So either you're banning them because you're concerned about data collection, or you're banning them because you're concerned about influence, or both, I guess.
I think both. I mean, this is a kind of side effect casualty of the ban. Like, I don't think anybody in Congress is like, oh, they've got our access to our superheroes. That's going to be a problem.
They're going to introduce some superheroes we don't like.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that's not the issue here. And if you've ever played Marvel Snap, and I used to play it like you, I don't think there's a way to even communicate with other players. Like, you can only play the card game, basically. Yeah. There's no way to add a video. There's no way. There's no content creation.
There's nothing.
It's really literally just a card game that cannot communicate it any other way. So I don't really think that would be, but then again, you never know, right? Like, you wouldn't think like an app like Strava would be an issue, but then when you have military members and 3-letter agency members using it and then exposing their secret military bases, okay, there is these things that can sometimes side effect happen. So
that's right.
There you go.
All right,
talking about side effect things happening. OpenAI launches Operator, an AI agent that performs tasks autonomously. So I have lots of questions. So does this mean like I can tell it to go and find me the best tech news stories every day and send them to me, and it'll just keep doing it all the time?
It apparently will take over. It'll control your browser. Like, it'll work within a browser, and like, you'll be able to say like, hey, book me a flight to New York, and it will be able to book you a flight to New York.
It might not be a good flight.
Yeah. Which is like, that's a little scary to me, because because then what do you do if it messes up? Like, what do you like? Do you call up like, hey, the AI screwed up?
I don't really want to go to Jakarta. I was just trying to go to New York.
Can I have a refund? Yeah, like when it starts hallucinating.
I meant New York, America, not New York.
When the AI starts hallucinating about my travel plans, like, I didn't want to go to Paris, Alabama. No, that's not what I was saying.
That's the wrong one.
Yeah. so yeah, I mean, but to your point, like, I think there is a time coming very soon where you and I will be able to give some criteria for the types of technology news articles we want to see in a given week that we find interesting. And there will be an AI agent that will be able to just grab those and automatically drop those into our show notes file. And then we'll go through them and decide which ones we like and which ones we don't. And like, in us having to go scour the web for various things will be a thing of the past, which is kind of great and maybe not. I'm not sure. It's going to be interesting, to say the least.
Yeah. There was another story. I did not tag it, but around the same time, Anthropic, which makes Claude, announced citations in kind of response to this thing with Operator. And citations basically is a way for a developer to have it create citations into the source documents where it's coming up with this information that is providing to reduce the chances of hallucinations.
Right.
So if you can go back and look at where the source document is, you can understand why it's saying the thing that it's saying. I think it's super interesting, and I think it actually opens up some interesting possibilities for developers to actually provide documents and then have it do summarization and things like that, and really kind of understand how things are happening. It's basically like the footnotes that you were supposed to do when you were writing papers in school. And nobody could ever do those right?
No,
like,
never.
What was APM? Was it APM?
I was trying to remember the same thing. I can't remember the acronyms. I don't even know anymore. Yeah.
That's how bad we were, listeners, at doing those things. So,
all right. Speaking of letters, OpenAI and SoftBank are reportedly putting $19 billion each into Stargate. And before you say it, sadly, no, this is not a new Stargate series or movie. Though
I thought we were going to make the ring and then we're going to teleport to other planets. I was like, I'm in.
Apparently there was going to be a Stargate reboot and it sort of stalled, like by I think on Amazon, and it sort of stalled out. There was like rumors about that a year ago. Man, I need another Stargate. I need another. Listen, Stargate Universe, the last series they came out with is one of the best sci-fi series I've ever seen. It was so good.
From the original Stargate movie onwards, I loved it all.
Oh yeah, I watched everything, everyone.
Ditto.
Oh yeah,
ditto. It's great. Hey, listen, Amazon, this is just me and you. I want to talk to you directly, Amazon. Look, you guys are burning a ton of money on these stupid shows with Mr. Beast.
Yes.
Stop doing that.
Right.
Spend it on something good like Stargate.
We need
You
Stargate.
did it before with The Expanse. The Expanse was great.
The Expanse was amazing.
It's a great sci-fi show. I applaud you for doing that. Yeah. Don't do dumb reality shows.
The Expanse was probably my it's either my first or second favorite sci-fi series. It might be my first, and then Stargate might be second. I don't know. It was so good.
I would have a hard time ranking my sci-fi series because I've got so many random weird.
I mean, Battlestar Galactica is pretty great too, right?
The reboot of that one. But have you seen I know some niche ones that you maybe have never seen? Did you ever watch Space Above and Beyond?
No.
This was such a good show.
But we got to throw in Travelers for our buddy Mickey. He loves Travelers. I mean, that was amazing. Yeah.
It's funny. I'm actually just rewatching Travelers.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Great
so
show.
Good. So well done.
Yeah.
Anyway, what Stargate is essentially a
not
giant.
What we wanted it to be.
It's not what we want. But what it is, it's essentially an insanely giant data center for OpenAI's computing power. That's all it is. And
of course, they're going to drop it in Texas because politics.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be $500 billion is what I saw was the price tag on this thing. Like $500 billion. Is that right?
So that's what it was announced.
Okay.
And then Elon Musk, this kind of goes into the next article. Elon Musk and Sam Altman take to social media to fight over Stargate. Elon Musk says they don't have the money. And then, so this has all happened in the space of 2 days since the inauguration.
Yeah.
And then, so Trump and Trump's people and Musk are then having a tiff over this.
Yeah.
And I just saw yesterday, I think Trump was like, well, it's just because he doesn't like one of the people involved in Stargate. It's all fine.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you've got all these massive egos involved in all of this stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like some of this stuff is just going to get mired in garbage.
Yeah.
Even if it's really intended to do good.
Well, I mean, I think what this tells us is that, Elon Musk is going to say whatever he wants to be true, not what is actually true. And I mean, I think he's proven this time and again. Like, you can't believe what he says on social. He does not say things that are true consistently on social media.
I mean, you can't trust anything that he says anywhere, right? Like,
well, yeah.
I mean, full self-driving was supposed to be like 10 years ago or something before Tesla was even a company. It was even a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
Yeah. In all fairness, like, I have full self-driving. I get in the car with one of my kids and I'm like, drive me here. And they do it and I don't have to pay any attention. So, I mean, as long as they have a license.
Wait a minute. I was the original full self-driver then for our family.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. We've had full self-driving for like ever, basically. Like, it's been a thing. Like, since the original Model T, there were full self-drivers. There were teenagers that wanted to drive and parents that didn't. That's full self-driving. I've just solved your problem. So if you need full self-driving and you don't have a child, I mean, you're just going to have to wait 16 years. Like, you just get 17. Just get started.
And actually, so it's just different words. It's the same acronym, FSD. It's full someone else driving. That's what it is.
That's like saying, like, my Uber is full self-driving. Like when I call an Uber, it's a full self-driving car. Like, it drives by itself. But I don't have to drive it.
I don't have to do it.
I don't drive it. So.
If I don't do it, then it's good to go. So.
All right. Last up before Weird and Wacky, Substack introduces a $20 million funding guarantee to entice creators to migrate to its platform, which tells me, so this is what they're doing is they're saying to creators, hey, you have huge audiences on these other platforms. We know that in migrating, you might lose some revenue from doing the migration. So we're going to pay you to migrate over here. We have a fund to pay you to do that. And what that tells me is that Substack's getting more and more serious about growth. And I love Substack. Like I've been in it for a while. It's great for email. I'm starting to use it for kind of its like Twitter-like function. I think they call it Read. I don't remember exactly. They do podcasting now. They're starting to do live now, like live video streaming now, which is interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's getting more and more interesting to me. And the community over there seems very supportive, kind of very positive and upbeat. I've been very impressed. So if you're not on Substack and you want a place to create and do lots of stuff, it's free. And I think worth checking out for sure. So.
You know, it's interesting that you view this move like that, because to me, it smells a little bit of like, our growth is stalling.
Could be.
How do we supercharge this and get people to move over?
It could be. It could be. Right now. Yeah. I mean, the problem right now with content creation is that there are so many platforms to create on that is almost hard to know where to go and where to like really focus in your effort. You know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, personally, I'm on Ghost. I like Ghost a lot.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's straightforward. It's open source. You can run it on your own.
Yeah.
I don't. Because it's worth the money to just be like, you take care of this. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. But Ghost is just email, right? It's not like a built-in community necessarily. I mean, it's more of an email only.
It's a website, and then it'll do email. So but it'll do member management. You can charge people for access. You can do newsletters where portions of it are available to everybody and portions are for subscribers.
Got it.
You can do tiers. So you can do all the things I think that you can on Substack.
On Substack, yeah. But again,
they're missing though things like you mentioned though, with going live, podcasting directly.
Right.
Like you can probably figure those things out, but it's not all within it. That said, if Substack is doing it, I imagine Ghost will probably be doing it as well.
Yeah, maybe so.
Point.
Maybe so.
And hopefully, you know, we've talked about with Automatic and the problems there with WordPress. Hopefully somebody will fork that and maybe add features like this in there as well.
Yeah.
And create like a whole new, you know, dynamic ecosystem of stuff that people can use as well.
I like it.
Time for the Weird and Wacky segment.
Abominable Snowman.
He's not an axe murderer.
One of the TAs turned out to be a bot.
First up in Weird and Wacky, and we've only got one actually today, so it's not even just first up, it's only up.
Oh, first and last up in Weird and Wacky.
First and last and only up in Weird and Wacky. Someone bought the domain OG OpenAI and redirected it to a Chinese AI lab. Here's the problem I have with the article. I'm going to tell you right off the bat.
Okay, tell me.
First line. They said somebody bought the website OpenAI, OG OpenAI. It's not a website. It's a domain. If you're going to mess up right in the opening, I don't believe the rest of the article.
That's a fair point. They got the title right. It said domain in the title, but not in the opening of the article. It's interesting. I didn't even notice that. I wasn't paying attention.
I noticed it right away, and I was like, "Oh, you're an idiot. I'm not going to read the rest of this."
Yeah, well, apparently he bought it for pretty cheap, and he wants to resell it. And I think he just pointed it to a Chinese AI lab as a stunt because it's funny, and now people like us are talking about it, which gives him more prestige to then sell the domain. But I do wonder,
kind of a dumb domain, though, isn't it?
I mean, I agree. It is kind of a dumb domain. I don't. It seems pointless to me. So it's like, whatever.
I don't even know why.
I thought it was weird enough. I don't know why we're
talking about it, but I don't even know why somebody wrote about it. Like,
it was weird enough to talk about, but that's it. So
yeah, there you go.
Tech wreck. Time to get your tech wreck.
Tech wreck. Chicky.
Tech wreck. Time to get your tech wreck.
All right, Sanjay, tech wreck time. What do you have for us this week?
So I got a little bit of an oddball thing. I don't think I've ever talked about like construction stuff, tech, but it's basically, I've been looking for a really good stud finder. I had one and I have one, but it's hard to always get it to like figure like where exactly is the stud. So I've been trying around different ones. I tried out, there's one from Wallabot, which is supposed to give you like a view into the wall. They're using like, I don't know, ultrasound sensors or something like that. I tried that out. Not happy with it.
Okay.
So I actually have now resorted to one that a contractor told me about, and I think it's actually fantastic. So this is the Franklin Sensors Pro Sensor M210 stud finder. And what's neat about this guy, if you're watching the video here, is it's got a line of LEDs across the top.
Yeah.
And so as it sees a stud, it will actually show you where it is and then show you the middle. And then it's also got this little thing here that tells you if there's electrical cable where you're covering this.
Yes.
And then to make it even a little bit better, built-in level. And then what's a little bit gimmicky to me is if you open it here, there's a pencil inside, but man, that pencil is hard as anything to get out of here.
That's funny.
But It's a really nice level and stud finder.
Okay.
And I've been using these where we've been hanging up some pictures, and I want to make sure like I'm dead on.
Yeah.
And, you know,
right.
The worst thing that happens is you drill a hole and you're getting just the edge of a stud.
Oh man.
And then the whole thing rips apart, and now you got a big giant hole in your drywall.
Yeah.
The stud is destroyed. It's a whole disaster. So
that's no good.
And it was worth getting something like this. This is around, I think it was around $50, which a little expensive for a stud finder, but I figure it's a one and done type of deal. These things are going to last forever unless you like totally destroy them. So
I love it.
Check it out if you're looking for a really good stud finder and you don't want to miss the mark. There you go. You like that? I just made that up. Yeah,
that was so terrible. I mean, it kind of hurt me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
I'm sorry about that.
It was a little bit painful.
It hurt me a little bit saying it too, because I was like, oh, this is too good to not say, but it's gonna hurt. So there you go.
That's so good. Okay.
Talking about hurting, but maybe not. I don't know. Actually, know what you're gonna recommend. Right. What do you got for us this weekend?
I'm gonna recommend the Yucca app. Have you seen this app?
I have not seen this app.
This app, you need this app. This app will help you eat more healthy. I think it also works on skin products. So here's what it is. It's a free app, and you grab the app and you're at the grocery store and you're looking at an item. You're like, I wonder how healthy this is. You grab the app, open it up, scan the barcode, and it gives you a score out of 100 of how healthy it is, first of all. So like, for example, I'm looking at organic almond milk that's unsweetened right now. It's 88 out of 100. It's excellent. It tells me it has no additives. If it has additives, I can go see what additives it has. And what potential risk those additives could be to my health. But it has no additives. It tells me it's organic. It tells me how many calories it has. Does it have saturated fat? Does it have sugar? Does it have sodium? Like, it gives you a crazy amount of detail about different items, so you know what you want to buy and what you don't want to buy. Like, we used it the other day. We were trying to find just some rice. Like, we want to buy some rice that's not garbage. So I scanned this one rice. It was 35 out of, I'm not gonna say the brand. It was 35 out of 100. It had way too much sodium, a little bit of protein, but it was mainly a sodium issue was the problem, right? But then there was other rice that we scanned, and it was like, no, that one's got a ton of additives in it. Oh, here it is, additives. It's got 4 additives. 2 of them are limited risk. 2 of the additives are risk-free. You can go break it all down. Like, it's crazy the amount of detail it gives you.
Okay, so, I got to ask you this. Look one up for me.
Well, I got to have the barcare. I can't just look up. Yeah, you scan the barcode. Just look up
the thing?
No, you just, maybe I can. I can try here. Okay, go. What's it called?
Oreos. I want to know where Oreos score on this whole thing.
Oh, all right. Oreos are here. Here we are. Are you ready? You ready for Oreos?
Okay, hit me.
It got a 0 out of 100. It is very bad. It's got 7 additives in it. 1 additive is high risk. 2 additives are limited risk. It's got 14 grams of sugar, so it's categorized as too sweet. It has 160 calories, so it says it's too caloric. It's got 2 grams of saturated fat, so it's too fatty. And it's got 130 milligrams of sodium, so it says it has too much sodium. So it fails like literally every possible test. It fails miserably. I was
wondering if I could find something, get you to find something that had a 0.
That's
right
0
out of the gate.
For the additives, you can go into it, by the way. So the additive that it says is high risk is calcium phosphates. Then I can tap into calcium phosphates, and I can understand why it says that that's high risk. It's a texturizing agent. It's a mineral whose intake exceeds recommendations. And has it says it can disrupt bone mineralization and have harmful effect on kidneys. I mean, like it goes into crazy amounts of detail. So if you want to eat healthy, this is a great app for you. If you want to be blissfully ignorant, do not buy this app. Do not use this. It will ruin your day. So.
It looks like is it a free app?
Yeah, it's a free app. Yeah, no, it's a free app. And I can't. I mean, maybe I'm the product because it knows what I'm scanning for whatever reason, and that's somehow beneficial. I don't know, but you can save like favorites in it. It has a history. Like, it's fantastic. So I'm loving it, and you can use it. I think also for like skincare products and stuff too.
So it looks like there's a premium mode as well, where you get a few more things like
but I think
mode. And
somehow
like
I activated premium mode without paying for it. So I'm not exactly sure what premium mode entails. But apparently I'm a premium member now for having used the app 2 times. So
okay,
go figure. All right, Sanjay, how can our listeners find and connect with you?
They can find me at my site, sanjaypark.com, hosted on Ghost. What about you, Adam?
You can find me on my website, adamjwalker.com, run by WordPress, the current version, sadly. But, we'll see what happens in the future.